welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronia, and in today's video we have the infamous budget update. So what we're going to be doing is just having a look at last month's budget just to track our spending and see what ended up happening, and then of course we're going to be setting our budget for the month of July. Now there actually has been a couple of changes, especially in the budget that we set for June, so I'm excited to go through everything, and yeah, let's just get started. So let's first take a look at what happened in June, and we're actually using our monthly budget template. So if this is something that you like the look of and you would maybe like to purchase it, you can of course do that. It does come with a net worth statement, a sinking funds calculator, and then you have the choice between a monthly budget template or a weekly budget template depending on how you get paid. So make sure you do check that out if you haven't already. I will leave a link in the description below for you. So when it comes to the June budget, I do want to concentrate more on the sinking funds and the spending, just because I already did a detailed video going through the budget. So if you do want to check that video out, I'll make sure it's linked up here for you and in the description below. But when it comes to June, one of the changes that we ended up making was actually through our sinking funds, because when it came to our gym membership, at the moment I pay monthly because it just made sense for me. But when we looked at doing that for Yinka, we couldn't find the same deal anymore, and in fact we ended up finding a better deal if you actually paid for the whole year. And so we decided to do that. Rather than pay monthly, he's actually going to pay for the whole year, which is quite funny because we both go to the same gym. But what we've done is we've decided to take money out of our sinking funds pot to make sure that we just pay for the gym, and then that gets sorted because it's actually cheaper in the long run. And so that's what we ended up doing. So if you have a look at our sinking funds category, you will see that another 250 has gone towards the gym, and that was probably the biggest change in June. All right, so apart from that, everything else pretty much got paid out. And now let's have a look at our spending category. So first off, when it came to petrol, luckily for us we didn't end up driving that much this month, and so we didn't spend that much on petrol. Obviously if you're in the UK and you drive, you would have seen that petrol prices are very expensive at the moment. So yeah, we will probably end up using the full amount next month even if we don't drive too much. But we initially had a budget of £120 and we ended up spending only £82. So luckily we had a bit of money left over, and you will see that we ended up spending it in other areas as well. Then next up, when it came to groceries, so initially we had a budget of £152, and that meant that on average we were hoping to spend about £38 a week for those 4 weeks. And so when it came to our groceries budget, we ended up spending less, which I was really surprised at. We ended up spending £145, which meant that on average we were spending around £36.25 each week, which I was actually very surprised at, just because I was experimenting a little bit during this month. So I was trying some gluten-free things because I was trying to cut down on my wheat, and I was also trying to cut down on chicken as well. So I ended up separating my meals sometimes with Yinka, who's my husband. So I'm actually really surprised at that. I actually thought we were going to go over budget when it comes to our groceries, but yeah, I'm very happy to only have spent £145 that month. And if you're liking this video so far, then feel free to give me a thumbs up, as it really does help to support the channel. Plus I'm sure you know it's free. Then when it came to toiletries, so here we definitely did go over, because we originally had a budget for £30 and then we ended up spending £47, and that was just because we ended up passing by a Home Bargains, and there were just a few things that we decided to buy now so that we wouldn't have to buy it later, and it was a bargain, so we thought why not. And then in terms of our own individual spending, so if you're new to my channel and you don't know, we allocate 100 each towards our spending. For me, I basically spent the whole lot, which is no surprise. Yinka probably didn't, knowing him, but I enjoyed myself, so you know, it's summertime, time to enjoy. So £100 was pretty much all paid out. And then when it came to our date night, we did have a higher budget just because it was our anniversary. So we initially had a budget of £120. We did actually keep to that £120 until we realized that we weren't going to spend much on petrol, so we decided to get a few takeouts, because sometimes we do include that in our date night budget. And so we ended up spending £139, which is probably the highest we've spent during our whole year of being married. But no, it was a great month, so no complaints there. Next up, let's go to personal care. And so we had an initial budget of £44 and we ended up spending £44, so that is quite consistent. Of course, as I mentioned before, when it comes to the gym, that is £21.99, so we will be paying that for myself during the month, and Yinka is pretty much sorted for the whole year, which is great. Then Disney Plus, we did end up paying £7.99, so that was all fine. And then for miscellaneous, we did have a budget of £5, but we ended up spending £10 instead, so just slightly more. And then of course, when it came to pennies, that was pretty much paid out as soon as we got paid. And so we did end up staying in budget this month, which again, I was a little bit surprised at, considering that it's the start of summer, but I think a lot of that was just because of the fact that we didn't spend as much on petrol, so we did have some money left over, which is great. All right, let's move on to the budget for the month of July. So this is the budget that we are setting for this month. So in terms of our total income, nothing has really changed. So we've got my husband's 9-to-5 job. I also have a temporary role at the moment. I do get paid weekly for that. However, what we tend to do is just save that until the end of the month, and then when Yinka gets paid, we just bring it all together and then we will set our budget. So that's kind of what we've done this month. Plus we have another £150 that is taken from our sinking funds pot, which is going to be paid for some of our sinking funds. So that is pretty much our total income for July. So when it comes to savings, we have 150 that is allocated towards our savings. So most of the money at the moment during the summer is going towards our holiday. We've got a sinking fund for that, and then straight after the summer, a lot of the money is going to be going towards our savings. So we are gearing up for that, but we do still have some extra money, and so that's going to go towards our savings, and that's planning to go towards our property purchase. So in total for savings, we have 150. Now let's move over to our essential bills. So as many of you know, if you're subscribed to this channel, it is pretty much quite fixed. So when it comes to our rent, we're still paying £1,100. Water is £47.75. Electric and gas is currently £106.84. Council tax is £129. Broadband is £31, iCloud is £158, and then we do have both of our SIM contracts. So for Yinka, it's £12 a month, and for myself, it's £10 a month. And just as a reminder, we currently use Voxy. So if you are in the UK, this is the SIM contract that includes endless social media data. So if you're interested in having a look at Voxy, you can definitely check out my link in the description below. And then of course, after that, our tithes, charity and giving is also in the budget. Then when it comes to our sinking funds, so we have currently £100 being allocated towards our car, and so that's for any car maintenance. Then we've also got £10 going towards our dentist, another £10 going towards rugby, another £30 going towards our clothes, so that's in case we want to buy anything during the year. And then also, as mentioned before, we've got £400 being allocated towards our holiday, so very excited for that. But it means that in terms of our sinking funds, the total is currently £550. Next up, let's move towards our spending. So at the moment, we have set a budget for £120 in petrol. I have a feeling we're going to go over budget just because petrol has increased again. So yeah, I'm not sure £120 is enough, but we'll see. We might not drive as much this month, fingers crossed. When it comes to groceries, we have a budget of £190, and that is just because our next payday is going to be after 5 weeks. So we do have to budget for the 5th week, otherwise we won't have enough money for food to eat. So that means that hopefully again we'll be spending about £38 a week on average, and so if you times that by 5 weeks, that is £190. Then next up, we have toiletries. So we do have a budget for £30. Whether that's enough or not, I'm not too sure, especially considering we did overspend last month, but I'm hoping that was more of an anomaly. But we'll see. I think maybe we'll end up spending around 30 or 35, depending on how much we need to buy. But we've got a budget for 30 anyway, and we'll see how that goes. We've also allocated another 100 into our spending, so that's all great. Another 44 for personal care, another 60 for date night because we don't have an anniversary or anything going on, so I think 60 should be okay. And then we've got my gym membership, so £21.99 since Yinka's is already paid for. And then Disney Plus is another £7.99. Miscellaneous, we have left it to £5, and then we had some loose change, so that's going to go towards our pennies jar, and that was £4.71. So we're hoping that we will spend around £683.69 for the month of July. So that's pretty much our budget for the month. I'm very happy we were able to stick to our June budget. Again, if you do need support when it comes to sticking to your budget so you can actually be able to save money and reach your financial goals, I do offer one-on-one coaching. So if you would like to learn learn more, you can of course book a free call with me. I'll link more information up here for you and in the description below. So if you did like this video, then please do give me a thumbs up if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments, how did your budget go for the month of June? I do post every Tuesday, so if you would like to know more, then of course you can subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.